Hey.
First of all, welcome.
Thanks.
I just want to sort of talk to you about, I guess, your relationship that you sort of had with Fitnance at this point in time.
Yeah.
And just how did you first connect with Fitnance to start off with?
I think ever since I've been an elite athlete, I grew up in Mackay and moved to the AIS in Canberra when I was 17. And ever since then, I've had good connections with people here in Brisbane, and specifically Weary, Chris Weir, and he's been really good to myself. Well, that's what I call him. I don't know. I don't think people here call him Weary because they always look at me going, oh, I don't know who that is.
So it's just your nickname?
It could be, I don't know. But so yeah, I've always known him quite well, even since when I've just started competing internationally and across the Australian domestic season. But my sister does 400s, and she lives here in Brisbane, went to university here in Brisbane, and ever since I've come back, I'm usually only in Australia a couple of months a year for the last 14 years when I've been competing, and every time I've been in Brisbane, I've always tried to catch up with him. I'd never really trained at the gym much, but I'd always wanted to do some courses here, and I'd seen them advertised online. I knew there was a lot of options with that kind of thing, so I just approached him saying, you know, I think it'd be good to do some Cert 3, Cert 4 registrations to become a personal trainer.
Okay, so,
Yeah.
So some of the decision-making process around becoming a personal trainer, like transitioning from your Olympic career and going into like that sort of role, why personal training?
Yeah, I mean, I think I did 3 degrees at university. I did a teaching degree, like human movement education, and a sports nutrition degree. And I don't really know if I really want to be in schools or things like that. And I think it did help me because I was really shy growing up in Mackay, and I think the education degree helped my confidence with public speaking. But I think since competing internationally, living over in America, in Europe, in London, I've really enjoyed like helping people enhance their lives through just giving them advice on nutrition, what exercises to do, what training to do. And I guess to me it all came naturally, but since I've become to know people just in just general day-to-day life, I mean, people that might be the highest of high in their jobs, they want some advice on how to improve at their running or how to get fitter. And I think my interest kind of started from then. I remember going to the London Marathon one year, and it was about 2009, and I was injured, and I was just there to watch some friends try to qualify for world champs that year. And I was really annoyed because I think I was on crutches. I had some kind of a problem with my foot, and I was just like standing around at the finish line, and I thought, oh, this is going to suck, you know. I was just there to support my friends, and I was going to go back to my apartment in London, about 30 minutes away. And I remember watching everyone that I knew finish, and then I thought, oh, I'm just going to stay to watch the people that break 3 hours finish. And it was so awesome to see them like so excited, and I'm like, I'm going to stay till 4 hours, you know. And I was just there like all day, and I think ever since then I've really realised how much it means to people to achieve goals and dreams, and it's very hard for them to do it on their own. So I think my interest in that sparked from back then, just really when I was really kind of annoyed to be there, and then I was really excited when I went home.
Well, that's the thing, because I know that you're currently sort of assisting different people, not just here in Australia but internationally, with developing the performance around marathon running. Can you sort of expand on what you've sort of done there? Yeah,
for sure. Yeah, and at the moment I have a business in America, and it's really just about coaching people for the marathon or for the 10K, for the 5K, but not specifically in personal training or any other aspect of training. And I think I want to branch out with my business here to involve that kind of thing, and that's why I wanted to enroll here and learn all the practical. Yeah, because I don't have as much of the practical experience and the accreditation. You know, I've got a lot of experience about physiology and anatomy of the human body and all this kind of stuff. But I think to put it into real life, it's been really awesome to be here with Steve, particularly Steve Nance, who's been teaching us all in these Cert classes, and that's helped me translate it to the real world.
So just going back to your involvement in marathon running and what you've been doing, with developing it, how long have you been sort of doing that for now?
I've been coaching people for the last 3 years, but I've been running marathons internationally since 2004, and that was the same year I won a world title in cross country, and I ran our Australian record for the marathon in 2006 in Chicago. So I've been competing a lot, and I think the first couple of years when I've coached, I was still competing, but now I've retired and I've got a lot more time to put into my business and into helping people achieve what they want to achieve. And it's pretty emotional for a lot of people, and I don't think you can mix competing at the top level and running a very good coaching business and personal training business together, because I think it's too much energy, and you've got to channel all your energy to what you're really passionate about, and that's what I'm passionate about more so than, I'm still young enough to be competing, but I'm not passionate about it anymore.
That's the thing, you've got to have that passion to be able to drive yourself, especially like a sport like marathon running.
Yeah,
It's hyper competitive.
yeah.
So you've been doing it for about 3 years and you're developing different people. What have you sort of noticed in that particular role to actually going in and actually getting training from someone like Steve? Is there a lot of comparisons of like things that people learn as a result of coming here to Fitnance?
Yeah, I mean, I think a huge thing that I've learned is there's no substitute for hard work, and I like the way that Steve teaches the class in the sense that it's very blue collar, and that's how you want your clients to be associated with you. You can't just they can't just show up and get fit just by being there. You know, you've got to encourage them to work hard, and he's taught me a lot of different things that he's I think he's learned overseas as well when he was coaching over there and working with the Broncos and that kind of experience, particularly with the boxing stuff. And people love the boxing stuff. And I work with a lot of people that are over the age of 35 that need to be developing their bone strength and those kind of exercises in the gym. And I don't know a lot of that stuff as well. So he's taught me a lot of things that he's learnt through the coaching that he's done, and that's awesome because, you know, I'll never have the experience that he's had in strength and conditioning, and it's just awesome to have someone of that calibre here teaching that course.
So we just recently, you know, in the last couple of months now, we've been involved with the Gold Coast Marathon and assisting some actual, I guess, marathon runners trying to develop and improve on their performance from previous years, or they're just competing for the first time. Can you sort of explain to me the group of guys you've been sort of working with there?
Yeah. So, and these guys, when I just moved back to Australia in March, I decided to live in Brisbane. So basically I had made that decision quite quickly. I thought I was going to live in Melbourne because that's where I had been living. And since I was in Brisbane here, I knew one of the guys called Alistair Stevenson who'd run a pretty good marathon, 2:33 in his first marathon, but he's a very good 1500 5K runner. And some of his mates, they were all training for Gold Coast Marathon, and I said, you know, if you want me to write you a program, help you a bit, because basically the training that they'd been doing was specifically more focused on the 1500 5K or just running too hard all the time. So I just analysed what they had done before the last marathon, and I said, look, I think you guys could all improve. And basically I set their program and we structured a little group, and they all did PBs at the Gold Coast Marathon, and Al did a 10-minute PB coming second overall. And Queensland won the national team's title. So he was still a minute outside my PB, so I'm happy about that. I think that was good coaching. But he ran 2:23, which is awesome, you know, and 10-minute improvement at that level is very good. So, you know, they're looking at Tokyo Marathon next year, and he's hoping to go under 2:20, which he should be able to.
Now, I know you've only recently graduated from Fitnance, but with some of the content that you received here, did you implement some of the training you did with these guys?
Not particularly these guys, because they were kind of in their recovery phase of the Gold Coast Marathon when I finished the course, but I have been using it with people that I've been training since then, in the months since then, and they've really enjoyed just the variety. And I've got it's called a social women's active group at the University of Queensland. So it's running, but it's also circuit stuff and strength orientated, but it's stuff that they can do outside and together. And I've got like dumbbells in my car and things like that, and boxing mitts, and I've just been doing that with them. So they've really enjoyed that, and they said they've never had anyone do anything like that before with them, and that group's getting bigger and bigger. So it's getting really popular over at the university, and I think they just don't want one-on-one coaching. I think they want more circuit stuff, and I think that's probably where I'm headed with my business, apart from the running stuff, really. Yeah.
So it's sort of like re-supplementing your existing skill sets.
Yeah, and we've done a lot of circuit stuff, and we learned a lot of different exercises with Fitnance here and with Steve, and we go over to the grass fields over there and we practice different sessions, and then we do sessions that other people in the course had run. So, you know, there was a guy in my course that was a swimmer, and stuff that he sets for different sessions is something I wouldn't even think of, but I might use for what I want to do. So you get so many different ideas just through other people's ideas in the course, and I always used to write everything down just so I remember. And then, because I don't think any coach knows what they don't know everything, and any coach that pretends they know everything, I don't think they're a very good coach. So, so I think, people, and they should be changing stuff, but, you know, people just get stuck in the same routine. Even runners, they get stuck in the same routine of going for a run every day, the same distance, same pace. But if they do start doing training sessions that are different paces, doing some circuit stuff, some weights, you know, they'll improve, but they don't know what to do, so they don't do it. You know.
So if you were to sort of recommend some of the reasons why you obviously coming into Fitnance, and you spoke about Steve's experience. It's probably one of the key areas. Is there anything else that you sort of recommend to other people that are looking to start a Cert 3 or Cert 4 in fitness to become a personal trainer?
Yeah, I mean, I think with this course, and a lot of people that I know, I think you can do a lot of it on your own without being here every day. And I think that's a really good component of it, that you can do it in your own time and then come here for the practical sessions. I think that's a really good side of the business. I mean, I came in every day, but that's because I was in a position to be able to do that. But they get such big class numbers that I think it's good because you learn off so many different people, and there's always people around to help. So Steve's running the course, but then there's so many people here that work here that are just around the place, and you can always ask someone. And Chris is great as well. And people, they just let the guys come in. Like, so many people hadn't finished all the modules when the course finished, but that doesn't matter. They can keep coming back and they mark it. And if there's anything wrong, or if you need to ask someone something, they're always around. So I think it's very welcoming in that sense. And but I do think they have the best people here teaching the course. And anyone can kind of say, I've got this Cert 4. Anyone can say that, and I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that don't know that much, that pretend, but that they just won't last, I don't think. And I think a lot of people that come through Fitnance last as personal trainers, or they set up their own businesses, and go on to better things, and just from their experience here. And I think probably from their confidence, and I don't think anyone would leave here not confident that they can do a good job. Yeah.
So with yourself, what's the next 5 years in terms of what you're looking to sort of achieve within your own career and your business?
Yeah, well, I think with my business, we've just launched a logo called bplusfitness.com.au. That's our website, and my business is, B plus fitness, but it's so my nickname's B, but it could mean Brisbane. We want it to be about positive energy and people doing something for themselves, whether it's just showing up to some exercise sessions or circuit classes, or coming with a friend if they're too scared to come by themselves. So it'll be training groups with running, but it's not just running, and it's about people being active, really. And a lot of my mates and family are involved, and I think it will be really good. But it's in the very early stages, but our colours are like bright pink, charcoal grey, bright yellow and black, and so we'll have something for everyone. And we're looking at doing, not only the business side of things with the fitness and the personal training, but also having a clothing line that's just a small line of stuff, and being at some races, maybe even taking some people to events, whether it's like marathons or anything that they want to do. Yeah, so I've got a lot of ideas for the future, but at the moment it's just going to be a coaching, personal training type business to start with, very small, and then we'll see what happens. Yeah. Thanks. Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Thanks for having a bit of a chat with us.
Thanks. Yeah, no, it was good. No, hopefully I can be back in a few years and maybe train some more people, and But I hope the business works out, and I'm excited about it anyway. Yeah.
Fantastic job.
Yeah. Thanks.